everybody, this is Jackie from Bronx Baubles. I'm super duper excited to bring you another interesting video. In this video, I'm going to be exploring something a little bit different. I want to bring you into the world of jewelry history and some of the interesting projects that I'm working on, as well as some of the activities and learning experiences, and I want to share that with you. I also want to sprinkle in a little bit of personal business, and I also want to bring you to another corner of my New York City apartment. This happens to be in my bedroom, and here, as you can see, is a display of some of my jewels. You might have saw some of this already in my last video. And then here is another display of my brooch collection, and I'm going to change it up a little with you, including some of my attire. Without further delay, let's just get this video started. I'm excited about this video because I want to share with you some of the labor of love of jewelry history that I've been exploring, because I truly am passionate and love jewelry history. As it's not only the history but the story behind jewelry. Last year on the V&A, I took a course, and it was called Jewels of Love, Romance, and Eternity. And it was with the most renowned author and jewelry historian, Beatrice Shador Sampson. She was phenomenal. She's so knowledgeable. She's a curator in many museums. She's authored so many books. And she gave the 6-week course about love, eternity, and romance. It starts off in the Roman period, how the first giver of love rings were the Romans, to signify the unity between two lovers. And it goes all the way through the years, up through when the diamonds first became popular, and even to modern day, and the symbolism between the unity of two lovebirds, and all different types of animals that signify love, and how rings were part of the dowry, and basically what it was a contract between two people and two families specifically, all the way through the recent and current times where people are experimenting a little bit more with their jewelry, rings, and love, and how the posy jewelry had signifying messages to each other that only the giver and receiver can see, including the beautiful miniature eyes. Oh, it was a phenomenal course. So when the Victoria and Albert Museum presented another course by Beatrice Shador Sampson, and this one was about jewelry history. It's called Jewelry History Bedazzled, and it's also a 6-week course, and it's a fascinating history. And what I love what she does is she goes into the museum and shows you some of the portraits and some of the signifiers of what this jewelry means. The jewelry is an archaeological hot field of information about the way people live their lives and adorn themselves. Also signed up for another course. This one is in the Americas, in the Penn Museum, and it is a several-week course. I forget if it's 4 weeks or 6 weeks, and it's called The Deep Dig: Trade Secrets of the Ancient Egyptians. And what I'm interested about in this course is that it goes into the history of the Egyptians. This is an online course, and it's a 4-part series, and it goes into the different types of materials and the symbolism and the meaning of different materials that are used in the ancient Egypt. And it also explores these materials as it relates to jewelry. And so I'm really excited to see what that's all about. I love Egyptian jewelry. I find it extremely fascinating, and I believe that taking these types of courses allows me to provide you with content that is unique and informative and historical, and I'm really excited about that. Recently, I did a video on a watermelon necklace, and I was super concerned about this video because I knew that it was going to be controversial. And it was. Some people actually said that they unsubscribed to me because of it. My idea of the video wasn't for its political content. It was really to explain how important jewelry can be, to understand human psyche, human behavior, and history in a point in time. And some people might find that offensive. And I don't want to be afraid to present to my audience this type of content. In fact, I'm almost want to start exploring more of that, those controversial topics that people find really hard to talk about. I most definitely find hard to talk about, but I think as a jewelry historian, and that's what I started to consider myself as, is that jewelry historian. I think that it's important to relay that content to you. So let me know what you guys think about that. I'm really curious, and I'm very nervous. And although I lost some subscribers, soon thereafter, I got the most subscriberships in 1 week ever. I don't know if it had a direct relation on that video, but it seems like people are very much interested in the content that I'm presenting to you. And I think it's sort of unique because I don't think anybody's doing what I'm doing. Let me know if they are, because I would love to connect with them. So please share with me some of your some of the people that you like to watch that's jewelry related. I would love to get to know them. Recently, I also visited what's called the Jewelry Library. I believe it's on 31st Street. And it's a new space that opened up in 2018. And it's a space where jewelry aficionados could come and congregate, and they have an extensive library of books that you can look at and peruse and see if it's books that you're interested in. They also provide space for unique exhibits, and they did one on the Shriner jewelry. It was the author, Eve Townsend, who showed up, and she brought in some of her Shriner jewelry, and I'll be sharing that video with you shortly. Fascinating history. Beautiful person. She signed a copy of the Shriner book for me, and it got me really interested in Shriner jewelry. I always knew about Shriner jewelry, but it wasn't until after this exhibit and speaking with Eve and purchasing her book and reading the book that I realized how amazing Shriner jewelry is. So it gave me a newfound love for Shriner jewelry, and I'll be sharing that video with you guys shortly. Jewelry Library also offers a space for people to sell their jewelry, designers and vintage collectors, and about once a month they turn over the sales so that other people can get a chance. And what I loved the most was I purchased these books at the Jewelry Library because they offer books that are hard to find and books that are part of certain exhibits and museums that you can't necessarily get. And so I purchased these books, and I want to share them with you. So this one is called Rings, an exhibit conceived by Helen Drutt, and it's from 1968, the year I was born, up to 2021. And in this is just picture of ring after ring after ring, and these rings are made by artisans. They're special rings, they're unique, they're by designers that are well known, they're by designers that are not as well known. I mean, look at this is just incredible. I have a ring very similar to that by Annie Fromm. I like to, at night when I'm laying in bed, just peruse these pictures. And sometimes these pictures give me inspiration when I'm out in the wild and I look for jewelry that kind of resembles some of the pieces that I see here. There are what my girlfriend Michelle calls ugly jewelry. She says when she's at shows, she says, let me pull out your ugly jewelry, the jewelry that other people find ugly but I find beautiful. That's exactly what this is, and I think that's probably a great name for an exhibit called Ugly Jewelry, but it's kind of like tongue-in-cheek because the jewelry is by far from ugly. This is beautiful. It comes with a beautiful stand. Look at that bird, very symbolic. So birds that I have a lot of bird jewelry in my collection. This is another ring that comes with its own stand. And you know, it's just a great way to look at different jewelry that you don't normally find and see, but when you see them, they're just beautiful. And so that's this book. Then I also purchased this book. It's called Sam Kramer, Jeweler on the Edge, and this is a book about Sam Kramer. And I was first introduced to Sam Kramer by the Museum of Art and Design. They had one of his pieces. And his pieces are pretty easy to identify because they have this like surrealist look to them, almost like a Salvador Dali. And it shows a lot of eyes and little round undulating things. Look at this. Look, of course, I just said surrealism. So who's the father of surrealism? None other than Salvador Dali. So he was a forerunner to some of my favorite designers, which is Art Smith and Caldor. He's from that generation. Now, I haven't read this book yet, but I hope to read it and learn a little bit more about Sam Kramer. I think he might even be a New York-based designer. Again, a lot of his jewelry has this eye motif, so it's pretty easy to identify his pieces. Here are some of them right here. See? Kind of looks like fish eyes to me. And here's another one, eye. And I hope, and I'm going to manifest it out to the universe, to find one of his pieces out in the wild. That's my dream about Sam Kramer. This is another book that I purchased at the jewelry library. It's by William Harper, The Beautiful and the Grotesque. And this book, I mean, once you look at it, you can almost identify William Harper's work because it's very identifiable. It has a lot of this enamel look to it, and it uses fresh pearls as well as precious materials such as gold and sterling silver and precious stones, as you can see here. And it's very unique to him. I haven't read this book yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. And I believe it's part of an exhibit, and I'll be sure to, once I'm done reading it, give you a review of what I think of it. I'm sure, you know, most of the time I'm a very visual person, so for me, half the excitement is just looking at these pieces. And I believe I remember seeing one of his pieces at the Nassau Museum. This book here, William Harper, The Beautiful and the Grotesque. And this book here is by far my absolute favorite book out of the 4 that I bought at the jewelry library. And it's called Divine Legacies in Black Jewelry. And what I really love about this book is that it highlights designers of African American descent. And I think they're underappreciated, some of the work that they do. You know, I love ethnic jewelry, but not all Black American jewelers are based in Africa. And so this book explores some of the modern Black American jewelry designers. And this is an exhibit, a book that went with an exhibit at the Metal Museum, which is a couple of hours away from here. And I hope to maybe one day visit the museum, because it looks like they have amazing exhibits of jewelry. And this would have been one that I would have loved to have seen. Of course, they have the very famous Art Smith, who is perhaps one of my most favorite designers. And if I could ever find one of his pieces out in the wild, I'll even probably one day collect enough money to buy one of his pieces, even if it's not in the wild, because I just adore his work immensely. This is by a designer called Jean-Baptiste Pericles. I adore his work so much. He happens to be a Haitian artist, and I believe that his work are starting to appreciate, and it's only going to appreciate more and more. And I hope to start collecting some of his jewelry. So that's this book here. Again, I haven't had a chance to read it, but it's one of the ones that I'm really most excited about. So I said to you I was going to share some personal stuff with me. As many of you might know, I had to put down my precious kitty cat, Lila, and it took me a while to get through the grief. I had a lot of grief in the past 2 years, and I'm looking forward to going out there and adopting a new adult cat. So hopefully I'll have an addition to my family, and I'm super duper excited about that. And I do plan to adopt a senior cat because I feel that they're the hardest to get adopted. Everybody wants a kitten, but I want one of the old bitty kitties. So I'll stay tuned for that. Some of you might know that I talked about my best friend from childhood who recently got married, and I was the madrina in his wedding, which is called the matron of honor. And so I was super duper excited and honored to be a part of this wedding. And I want to share with you some of the pictures of the beautiful event. The most exciting part was they had matching Poochie outfits for Athena and for Zeus, the two Poochies that were part of the wedding. So another project that I'm really excited about is this book right here, Symbolism in Global Jewelry. I have to say that the cover of this book is very deceiving. I don't know who the marketing person was for this book, but they did this book an injustice picking this picture. I don't know why they did, but I can tell you the context of this book was fascinating. And I can't wait to share with you the content of this book, my review of the book, as well as pulling out some really exciting pieces from my collection on ethnic jewelry and some of the symbolism. So stay tuned for this one. So with that, my friends, I hope that you enjoyed this video. A little bit different, a little bit informative, but exciting nonetheless. Got a lot of wonderful things planned. And so I hope that you would share with me what you would like me to present to you. I'm really excited about giving you content that you're interested in. So please let me know, and let me know what you think of my videos. So with that, my dears, wear your beautiful jewelry in good health. Y con mucho amor. Ciao! Hola familia! If you like my content and want to be part of this vintage custom jewelry tribe, don't forget to hit subscribe, like, and leave me a comment. Love to hear from all of you. Ciao!